Hey guys, I just had one other thought I wanted to share. You know, I'm aware of what's going on in the U.S., in California right now, and it's really sad to see, people being dragged off the street from their children, children crying, their parents being taken away from them. And I keep thinking, all of this because y'all didn't want to vote for the black lady. That's all I could say. I don't have nothing else, because every time I see one of these videos and I just think how sad this is, then I stop and I think, this didn't have to be. None of this had to be happening. But y'all didn't want to vote for the black lady. And then I see the videos, the I will vote for Donald Trump videos. And then I'm like, well, I want to be more sympathetic, but I can't be. Because when I see people saying, I'm Mexican American and I voted for Trump, and I'm from Honduras and I voted for Trump because I want law and order, right? Because you want to pull the rope up behind you, right? So you got to come, or your family is here, but you don't want other people who are running away from political situations, many of which are created by the United States government. You don't want them to have an opportunity. So your law and order, this is what they believe is law and order. And they will be looking for ways to grab as many black and brown people off the street as they can and deport them. They picked up a U.S. Marshal by accident the other day. So clearly they're not doing a whole lot of vetting. They just snatching brown people primarily, but black people getting caught up in this too, right? But primarily brown people. And you have to ask yourself, Houston, Texas, Austin, Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, where all these shrimp plants and chicken plants and places where a lot of illegal immigrants are working, why aren't they sending ICE down there? Because the owners of those places are Trump supporters. That's my theory. And because they want to bring the blue states to heel. They want to scare everybody in the blue states into submission. They don't need to make them submit in Alabama and North Carolina, right? They're already a part of the crew. But they want, and if they can bring the biggest state in the country who brings the most money into the federal treasury to heel, then they will have basically cow everyone else. So it's very important to watch what's going on in California and how the governor of California responds and how the people of California choose to respond. And this isn't going to end today or even next week. But it's very important to see where this goes, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere good. But it's going to be very important because this is the test balloon. And if they can bring California to heel, they can bring any other state to heel, including New York, Maryland, all the other places that you think are safe, quote unsafe, because there will be nowhere safe in the United States of America. Okay? But as I said before, as I watch these videos, and they are heartbreaking to me. Why are they so heartbreaking? Because none of this had to happen. But you just didn't want to vote for the black lady. And don't come into my comments and say she's not black, because if you do, I'm going to block you. Okay? Because that's how they see her. That's why they vote for her. One, she's a woman, and she's a black woman who identifies with her black roots as much as her Southeast Asian ones. And that's why they didn't vote for her. And none of this had to happen. None of it had to happen. I just want you to remember that. As you see these things unfold, and that many people voted for this who are now going to lose members of their family, or even they will find themselves on the other side of the fence. Right? And it's sad to see, because to me, a lot of these people are descendants of indigenous people. They got more of a right to be here than the people who are rounding them up. But they voted. 50-something% of Latino men voted for this. Right? Majority of Latino women did not, but a majority of Latino men voted for this, and quite a few Latino women were all over TikTok saying with their chest how they voted for Trump. Now I would love to hear how they feel about this. Do you still feel the same way? What they are doing is cruel and heartless, and that's entirely the point. Black people tried to tell y'all. We tried to tell y'all. So we have no responsibility to do anything now. Now I know some of the black people are getting together and getting, marching in solidarity, and that's very kind of them. because they don't need to do that. Black people can stay at home, and I still do not believe that it is in our best interest to be out on the front lines for anybody, for any of this, because we didn't vote for this, and we tried to tell everybody else not to do it. Who has more of a historical memory of how incredibly cruel the United States of America government and its citizens can be to black and brown people than black people? We tried to tell you. 92% of us voted for the black lady. Not just because she was the black lady, but because she was the better human being. She was the better candidate, and she was the better human being. But y'all didn't want that. Y'all voted for this foolishness. This man said he would send a National Guard. He also said he would use the military. And so they're getting ready to do that now. And if they get away with it, they will do it everywhere. So pay attention. You know, he's about to throw his big military parade while he takes away millions of dollars from poor people. And that's still happening while all of this is going on. They're multitaskers. They're getting ready to strip poor people of all their benefits while he throws himself a big military party. And also while he has quietly pardoned, I think the number I saw was close to $2 billion of people who had been convicted by the federal government and ordered to pay restitution for fraud, for scams. He has quietly pardoned people to the tune of $2 billion. And he's going to turn around, all rich people, of course, and people who paid to go to his little dinners and whatnot. The government is completely corrupt. The government is completely corrupt. And they're not hiding it no more. It's always been corrupt, but they're not hiding it anymore. While that's going on, he's sending National Guard to California to go after people for exercising their right to protest, which falls on the First Amendment, and taking away Medicaid, stripping Medicaid, SNAP benefits, anything that helps anybody poor. And the majority of people who are poor in the United States of America are not black people. There's a disproportionate number of black and brown people on these benefits because of white supremacy and the entire systemic structure that promotes poverty among people of color. But there are numerically more white people who are going to suffer as a result of this, right? Many of them his voters and supporters. But I want people to remember, none of this had to happen. None of this has to happen. All those people were up there singing that they would vote for him. None of this had to happen if you would have just voted for the black lady. Okay? Bye.